I want to be known as someone who lives in their essence. My favorite things that people say to me is like, you're exactly who you are online. I'm living in my truth. I am judgmental. I'm a very judgmental person.
Tell me more.
I observe and I judge. I'm judgmental towards other people because I'm judgmental towards myself. That's my survival instinct.
Yeah. When I'm the most inspired is when I get to sit with myself and I hype myself up. Something in me just boils and I'm like, I want to do this.
The minute you step outside, put a mask on. I've already tried different masks and I realized I will lose myself. So I am showing up as me and I am sharing this evolution with the world.
Was there ever a moment where you're like, I just kind of want to like quit everything?
Yeah, 3 times a day.
Really? If you had any advice to give to women to find themselves, what would it be? Welcome back, guys. I'm so excited to have you. I know that it's been a moment. I haven't had the time to come back and film for a while because we had some big news, and the big news is that I'm pregnant with a little boy, which is really, really exciting. And I'm even more excited because everything is timing and everything is, when it's supposed to happen, it happens. So I get to have who you may know as your favorite influencer to follow, but who I know as one of my dearest friends, Valeria. And I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you.
I'm so happy. I started by sitting down and apologizing for all the times that this didn't happen. But you know what? You said a good thing. You said it's all about timing in life. So
and it really does happen. Like sometimes it gets stressful, when it's like last minute we have to reschedule on this, and then you just realize it really just does happen when it's supposed to. Like everything's all good. It's not that serious.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
No,
this is a beautiful space. You guys can't see what's going around, but like you are such a master at creating these spaces that feel so inviting, so comfortable. So I'm excited.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy. So I think our first interview happened for the women's brunch with Magev David Adom, right?
Yeah.
And it was such a powerful interview, I think, because I asked you deeper questions, which is why I'm excited for this interview today, because I feel like everyone knows you as you're a leader. You're a leader in the community. You're a leader on social media. You have the creator method that you're creating now that's blowing up, helping so many other people to become creators like you. And I feel like I want to take you all the way back to like who you are, who I love watching, which is when you share your mom. When you share you as a mom, when you share those personal moments where you cry like you're human too.
Yeah.
And that's who I want to know. It's not as easy. I know.
It's not as easy. I'm like, okay, the moments where I'm human.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not human all the time. I was actually talking about it in the car with Celine. I was like, sometimes I feel like I am a little bit more robotic. Like I remember growing up in Israel, they used to call me like the ice queen. Because, I have this ability to, in order to move forward and fast, I need to disconnect a little bit emotionally. So I'm not all in the chaos of feeling and living. So that's actually been the mission for me recently, to just being able to reconnect to not only being present, but being actually in my emotions. My kids very much inspire me with that, but it's not something that comes easy for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I think that, well, actually, I'll tell you exactly why, because I had this session with my therapist. Because to me, growing up, I equated emotions to chaos. And I think a lot of us growing up in immigrant households, our parents did the best they could. But what they had back then as tools weren't really very helpful. There was not enough awareness and understanding. So they just operated from this survival instinct. And to me, I just grew up in a household where my mother was either 0 or 100. So emotions for me just always equated such instability and such turmoil. And I didn't want that in my life. So I think that kind of pushed me to be more of like, okay, let's remove ourselves a little bit and we'll be able to operate more from like the logical part of the brain. So now at 35, I'm like, okay, let's connect back to the heart.
It's so wild. I connect to that and relate to that so much because like you, immigrant household, and it was survival mode all the time. Sometimes we had, sometimes we didn't. They were at an all-time high and then all-time low. So it was always like, how do we make it? And I feel like for a lot of Jewish homes, like everyone says, oh, the Jews own everything. It's because we worked for it. Like, we didn't wait for anyone. You know what I mean? And I think that's like a big testament to also being an immigrant. Like, you have no choice but to make it. So I
But
think
with
that
that comes also the consequences,
Yes.
right? It's like
which
there
is why we're in
no-
therapy
Right.
in our generation.
Yes, exactly.
Because therapy, I don't know if in your household it's like this, but when I told my mom in therapy, she's like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not sick. I need to talk about it."
Yeah, I think for myself, I had to make myself kind of buy into this idea of therapy because throughout my life, I've been very much capable of going through my own stuff. Like I thought I have all the tools that I needed. I did reach an age, and I would say it was probably 2-3 years ago, where I'm like, you know what, I kind of at capacity with how much I can do for myself. Now I have to outsource. And I remember when I spoke to my mom about it, she was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but do whatever you need to do. You have a lot going on with the kids and work and whatever. But what I'm very proud of is actually that she is now going to therapy and she loves it.
Wow.
And it changed her life. So I think that has been like the biggest gift to see, that generation starting to look at these tools as something that they can benefit from.
Yeah, and that it's possible too. It's
and that
okay.
you can change.
Yeah, and it's okay to get outside help sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish my mom would go to therapy. Yeah, right.
But
She would be
listen,
like,
I've been
"I don't need
planting
this."
I've been planting seeds for like 3 to 4 years. So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But I think that self-awareness, and they reach, and I guess every person reach a certain place in their lives where they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, and I can't move on the way I live.
When was that moment for you? Do you feel like there was like a specific time where you were like, holy crap, like this is just too much?
Yeah, I would say that it happened about a year ago, where I just felt really overwhelmed. And I felt like I'm operating from a reactive state. And it's interesting because when I reached out to this therapist, who is amazing, I reached out because I had a problem. But by the time I booked the session, I remember I just got on a call and I'm like, I don't really know what we're talking about.
Right.
She said, perfect. That's when I want you to come to me. When you don't quite know what it is. And when we started talking, I was like, oh, okay, there's a few
lot
things
there. I love that.
But it wasn't, that's the thing, it wasn't anything specific. It was just like this ability to really look at myself and where I'm at. And I have this innate need to constantly evolve and change and be someone else than who I was last year. Like, I need to constantly be changing my mind. If I'm set in everything in my brain, it means that I'm not moving. I'm not pushing myself forward. And I just felt like I've been kind of sitting in that comfort zone. So when I reached out to her, it was from a place of someone needs to push me. Someone needs to give me a different perspective, not validate me, because that was my trigger with therapy, by the way. I looked at it as a place where you go for someone, you pay somebody and they're like, you are so valid for feeling this. I don't want any of this shit. Like, give me,
you say that.
Give me, that real, this is, you're out of your mind. This is absolutely not it. And give me a different kind of perspective, because I find that when you do the right kind of therapy, you're able to see and find the answers all for yourself, right? But I like that true like discourse and that discussion that is not just cuddling me.
Yeah. And it helps with growth, right? When you hear it from a different perspective and you're just, honestly, for me, it's always just like to go to an outside person that does not know me and just like let it all out. And then I'm like, okay, I could go be my boss self and run my 3 companies and do all of the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't want to burden the people that I love with that. That's another thing. Early on, I realized that I don't want to lean on my husband in all capacities. I don't think it's fair. I think you need to do your own work, and then you need to come in and you need to, bring your best foot forward. You can share, but he's not there to solve my problems. And that's kind of where the outsourcing aspect came into play with, honestly, in every area of my life.
Do you think that helps your relationship with your husband? That like you take it upon yourself and then you come in as like the better version of yourself?
Yes, and it's also something I expect from him. Honestly, there was a period where he would come to me for that emotional support, and it was a lot for me because when you have a business. We're entrepreneurs. We're raising kids. I'm like, I can't carry that for you. I can't solve it for you. And I was very honest about it.
That's not easy to say that to
That's
your
not easy
husband.
to say at all.
Yeah.
And I felt bad about it, but I then said, oh, well, if that's what I expect from him, that needs to be also the expectation from me.
I love that.
So it did create kind of its own world. Like everyone is, you fix yourself and then you come together.
Absolutely. And also doing that to your significant other, like you said, like it's a lot to carry all the time. And like to keep things, I want to say like sexy, like it's hard to know everything and then also try to fix them and this. And I love that.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that is common to
It's not.
talk about in North America. I
Yeah.
think we have these expectations of our person being our whole kind of world and our person that we go to for everything. But I agree. It becomes a lot, especially as life becomes more complex and layered. And when somebody is at 50%, the other partner has to operate at 100. Like you can't take each other down. Somebody has to function. So that's just been kind of my motto.
I love that. And within all of this, right, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but to give your 100, how do you find inspiration? Like you do so much. I mean, so much. And then you have this amazing team that does, handles a lot for you, but I mean, you are your brand. It's you. How do you constantly, like, what's that push? Is it just in you? Like, some people, it's just in them. I really want to know, like, I have, like, creative, what do they call those? Creative, like, where you have
Blocks?
More, blocks.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm all out. And then something will just pick, like, it could be even, like, going on Pinterest and pinning something. And I'm like, okay, I want to design a new space, you know?
Yeah.
What is that for you?
So for me, I realized that creativity is very much connected to my kind of feminine flow. So when I feel like I'm blocked, it means I've been operating from my masculine too much. And it's such a balance, of course, but even to your point, going on Pinterest, like you're sitting and you're just daydreaming. That is such a feminine way of consuming the world. So that kind of connection made it very clear what it is I need to do in order to bring myself back to that flow. So I spend a lot of time on my own if I need that. If I need to reconnect with creativity, I meet with my girlfriends for those like soul feeding conversations. I go and walk around, I don't know, in a museum. I'll go for a walk, whatever it is where there is no feeling of urgency. There is no doing. It's really all about just like moving in your own pace. And that usually fixes it for me. I definitely stop the consumption of information. That's something that also helps because again, very like masculine thing, especially what we have served to us constantly. It's like, you're not good enough. You have to do this. Here's the tool to be this. Here's how to do more. I stopped all of that. And just kind of get lost in my own world. And I feel like it gets me back on track when it comes to just inspiration and creativity. Does
that happen often for you? Do you find yourself like needing to do that more often?
You know what? Now, not so much because I've been prioritizing living in that like creative flow. And to your point earlier, I do have a team. The whole point of having a team is the ability to really hone on what I can only do.
Yes.
And that's creativity. No one else can replace me. I can't hire for it. So this is a sacred like practice for me. So now I have these amazing people on my team that everybody knows their role. And I'm able to kind of lean back and really focus on like being playful and go with the flow and do fun things and pick up hobbies because that is what feeds, I mean, honestly, the company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it is. I mean, everyone follows it for you and for how you choose to live your life.
Yeah. You know, before, especially I think the way we grew up, this idea of like hustle and you have to work so hard to get things and it's hard to succeed. Like I had to, and I'm still am reframing all of that because it's not hard.
How do you reframe this?
Just by this, if you have the right system in place, like indulgence is not a bad thing. Like living with this joy and not feeling like I have to constantly work and earn my seat at the table. That's flow. That's like feminine. I truly am in a place where I trust that I'm already so content and so happy with everything that I have. Everything else is a bonus, but it flows to me. Like there is nothing that I need to do for it to come to me.
But do you feel like for someone starting out, they kind of have to go through that hustle
You have
mode?
to.
You have to,
You
right? Okay,
have to.
realistic, right.
You have to, and
Right.
you burn out and you crash and you learn your own process and your own
Correct.
positioning.
And you keep building.
There's no shortcuts.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't be here with these realizations today if I haven't done all the kind of, I want to say, quote unquote, bad choices in order to get me here. It's not even bad choices, it's I had to learn the lessons.
Absolutely.
So whenever I talk to people and the question is like, what is something that you do? I'm like, it doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah.
I do it because I already know the consequences of the other side. You need to first learn the consequences.
You have to go through it in order to
Exactly.
get to the destination.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to get to where you're at.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
for
that-
everyone is different.
Absolutely.
You know, some women, they thrive on, and that's what I thought I wanted. I thought that I wanted to be this like CEO, like leading person in my family and in my career and everything. And I've realized that I'm a leader in my space as a creative. I don't want to be a leader anywhere else. I do not need to walk into a boardroom. I do not need like titles. I don't need any of that. But I had to go through it in order to be like, yeah, that's not it.
I love where you're going with this because it's just like so intriguing for me. But it's like, okay, you, Valeria, when you walk into a room, who do you want to be known as?
I want to be known as someone who lives in their essence. To me, one of my favorite things that people say to me is like, you're exactly who you are online. Like you are playful and you're so approachable and you're so nice. Like all these things are wonderful kind of confirmations that I'm living in my truth.
I mean, I can attest to that because we were literally just shooting something right before this, guys. If you knew the morning, what an incredible morning. But from shooting an editorial to now sitting having a conversation, and like she makes her team stretch her out while doing a Russian squat, you called it. You know, like that is you. Like that's literally what you're doing in your content online.
Yeah.
You know, it's very authentic.
I just don't want to play any roles. And it's interesting because with social media, I think not even in social media, I think the minute you step outside of your home, you're like, put a mask on. And I've already tried different masks throughout my career. I've been doing it almost a decade. And very early on, I realized that if I continue with this trajectory, I will lose myself. Yes. And it's not worth the price. So I am showing up and working on showing up as me, and I'm sharing this evolution with the world, and that's my contribution online.
Do you still feel like sometimes you have to walk in a room and put on a mask, be someone else? Like in certain, you know, let's say you walk in a room where you feel like, I don't know, people are more egotistical than you are. Do you feel like you have to kind of live in that? It's hard not. Listen, we live in Miami. It's very much a place like that.
Yeah. You know what I do that I've noticed? I actually I don't talk as much. I observe. Because, that's something that I very much enjoy about my personality. I think I had it as a child as well. I will stand in a corner of the room and I'll just watch people. And I learned so much about myself from watching. Like I'm the kind of person that I always talk about it because my kids are very different, but I'm the kind of person where if I see somebody's making a mistake, I learn from their mistakes. Some people have to make those mistakes on their own in order to learn the lesson. So I'm the kind where I observe people, I see what they do, and I'm like, okay, we are not going to do that.
Okay.
So I've kind of been moving in the world like that.
Okay.
And when I walk into a room where I feel like I can't find my place here, I just stand and observe, and I'm like, why can't I find my place? Like, what is it about them? Sometimes it's just not my people. It's not my room, and it's okay as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I had to learn to be comfortable with just being quiet, and you just let people talk and do their thing.
My dad always used to say, be the listener, and you'll end up learning more than you'll ever know in life.
Absolutely.
And you'll be more successful than anyone else in the room.
Yeah.
If you become the listener. And I think that's being an observer.
Being an observer. And I am judgmental. I'm a very judgmental person.
Tell me more.
I observe and I judge.
Yeah.
But I'm judgmental towards other people because I'm judgmental towards myself. So it's not something where I'm trying to bring others down. I think that's in a way how I learned. That's like my survival instinct.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of observing and judging happening.
I love that. It's very honest. Okay, and I feel like lately, from content-wise, you have been putting a lot out there saying, I want to be more present with my kids. I want to be here. I really want to be here. How have you made more time for that? Do you think it's having the team and everything like that, or is it more just a conscious effort?
You know what? It's hard to say because I'm also going through my own seasons in life. And I think that we don't give enough space for mothers to talk about this is also a selfish period for me. Because as much as I think my kids will never be these ages, I'm never going to be this age again either.
That's right.
So I am also growing and developing while they're growing and developing. And I've always been very conscious of the sacrifices that I'm willing to make for my kids because I don't want to be bitter about it in the future.
Absolutely.
So thankfully, my kids are now at an age where even yesterday, I had a conversation with my 11-year-old. His birthday's today, my cutie pie. But I told him, I was like, Ben, I feel like we haven't been really spending time together. He's like, yeah, you've been really busy. You've been going to dance classes and traveling and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I've been going through it. Like I needed some time to just figure out where I'm at. And he's like, okay, well, I'm ready whenever you are.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay.
What a cute, you know what? I asked you this before and like being a boy mom and what it's like. Because I totally thought I was having a girl. Like I was 99.9% sure. I was so nauseous and sick. And my mom always said, when you're sick like that, you're having a girl. And when we saw the way that we kind of shared with our family what we're having, my best friend made challah for us with the color inside. And we did Shabbat, just our close family and friends. And I see blue and I'm like, no way. Like, how was I wrong? And I'm curious, what's it like being a boy mom?
It's so special.
Yeah, what's like the thing that you feel the most?
It's so special because I find that you really teach them how to love themselves. And then you have to have a partner that then teaches them how to be men because you can't do that.
Right.
And just really understanding the roles that both of you play. Like I understand, especially now as our kids are older, like I admire the kind of work and attention Gary, my husband, puts into the boys. That's not something I'll be able to do. And listen, my brother was raised by my mother, right? And he didn't have that like father figure in his life. And just the kids that do have those present fathers that really teaches them lessons in a way that only men can, it's such a blessing.
You see a difference? Like, do you
I
see a
see a
shift?
huge difference. Just like in terms of how they carry themselves, the confidence. Gary and I had a discussion about this idea. He's like, I feel it's very important for you or in general for women to make sure that the kids love them. And I said, I disagree. I don't think that that's what we're supposed to do. But again, going back to, I want them to learn how to love themselves. Because if they learn how to love themselves, that's then who they become in the society that constantly trying to make you hate yourself. So that's really important. And with boys, it's really special. You see that there are certain ages where they kind of are all over you and then they move back and they need more of that independence. And that's when my husband is like maneuvering that and then they come back to you again. So I feel so lucky, so blessed to have 3 boys.
What are your sons' names? I'm asking for names. We can't figure out names.
We've honestly went through pretty, I would say, traditional, like very simple.
Okay.
So the eldest is Jake. He was named after my husband's grandfather, who we loved very much, Jacob. And then the middle one is Benjamin David. And our little one is Maximus, after Maximus Aurelius. Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I can't even help you.
From Gladiator.
Oh my God.
Yes.
From
So
Gladiator.
Jake
You're
and
right.
Benjamin are this traditional
Yes, and then you have
Jewish names, and then we have
Maximus.
Maximus.
That's amazing.
And yeah, my husband was adamant. I actually wanted to name him Leo because I really love that name.
I love that name.
But he's like, no, this is a Maximus.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Amazing. So cool. So cool. So you're, like I said, you're doing all of the things. You're a mother. Do you like to be called an influencer? Sometimes I don't know.
You know what? I don't know what it is anymore. Like a content creator, influencer, thought leader. I don't care, honestly. Whatever makes sense to whoever says it. To me, I don't know.
What's your favorite part about your work?
The endless therapy session it is. I just think that when you have visibility, when you show up online, it's like you stepping into this arena of millions and millions of people watching you, judging you, criticizing you. And it's been the biggest blessing because I think it would have taken me way longer to understand all these intricate parts about my personality and myself if I would have done it in the comfort of my own little world. So I love that it pushes me to ask questions. I love that I am really working on the muscles of like creativity and entrepreneurship. Like it's given me so many gifts, so many gifts.
Is there ever a moment, or was there ever a moment where you're like, I just kind of want to like quit everything?
Yeah, 3 times a day.
Really? Okay, yeah. And it makes you human, right? Like
100%. Listen, what I do is already so unlike my natural, like my nature as a person, because if I could, I would have hid under a rock. Like I don't want nobody talking about me, looking at me, doing anything. And I think it's so ironic that I found myself in this path, you know, but it happened for a reason. This is my lessons that I needed to acquire.
This
but
was meant for you.
It was meant for me.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And I feel that there's multiple times a day where I'm like, F this, like I don't need it. But I feel like anything great is worth fighting for.
Absolutely. Do you ever find yourself like having a breakdown moment? What do those look like for you? Like, do you go in a closet and like cry sometimes and are just like, oh?
I'll cry. Or I honestly, being by myself is like my greatest solution for everything. Like I'll go to the beach, I'll go for a walk, I'll just sit in my room, I'll read, whatever it is. I just need space. Even my kids, like they know I have a look.
Really?
They're like, okay, don't talk to her.
Really?
Yeah. And you can tell when I'm at my capacity. And with the years, I've learned when I'm reaching closer to it, so I know how to get back. But before, it used to be constantly like just going overboard, and then it takes me 2 weeks to get back to myself. But it's one of the things that I love. Again, it's this self-mastery that this profession gave me.
And what does a day in the life look like for you? Like, what do you do for you to keep you sane like that? But I feel like now there's just so much on socials. And you speak to everyone, there's this routine that you have to do. So you wake up, you drink water with lemon, and then you do this, and then you do that. And I used to do all those things for like 8 years. Like that was my life.
Oh, wow. 8 years is
8
consistent.
years strong. 5:30 a.m. workout, Pilates, my water, my journaling, and I met my husband, and it all stopped.
Yeah.
And
he's
now
an
I blame
Israeli,
him.
and he's like, what are you doing?
Exactly. He's like, just like lay in bed with me a little longer. And I'm like, I can't. You're giving me anxiety. And now I've done that, you know, and I'm like, I'll get to work a little later, you know, and it's okay.
Yes.
And I realize everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
But what does that look like for you?
So I, like you, was very influenced by this very efficient and biohacking approach to life.
Yes.
And what I've realized, the more I kind of leaned into enjoying my feminine, is that just like anything else, it's like going with the flow. I am very aware of my cycle. I follow it. I know what weeks I have, like 2 weeks where I'm like, yes, I'm booking my 5 a.m. workout, 6 a.m. workouts. I'm going to do this and this, and it all flows and works and everything's great. And then there are weeks where I'm just like, absolutely not. Like I prioritize sleep. I prioritize spending time with my friends. I prioritize rest. And so that's been really helpful for me.
So the cycle syncing, you feel like, has made a huge difference.
Cycle syncing made a huge difference. And in general, I just feel like we're not small men. So being able to learn kind of how to go with your flow is extremely important, and it connects us to our bodies, which I think is the biggest thing for women. We are so disconnected from our bodies.
So true.
And that affects us both mentally and emotionally and physically. So my routine is kind of tuning in.
From what I'm hearing from this whole conversation, it's really like you're just in your feminine. Like you're just really trying to be fully in your feminine.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful to get to a place where I let my village to support me and be held both at home
Love that.
and in my business. Like that's important. There's
Absolutely.
no novelty in doing it all yourself. I don't want to live like that. I have nothing to prove to anybody, you know? So
Oof,
I really want to enjoy my life. And I feel like I've been figuring it out lately.
Yeah. But I like that we touched on it took us being masculine to get to this space now.
Yes.
Like it took that power to get to this kind of success, right?
But I don't think that the future generation won't have to go through it.
Right.
Like we've actually, if you think about it, millennials, we've gone through the freaking motions because we were also operating during the girl boss era, right? Where all you needed to do is like build.
That's right.
And all of a sudden we're in this era where, what do you mean? You're a, how do you call it? The ballerina farm. What do you call them?
No idea.
The one that like have farms and have
I
8
love
kids
that.
and like all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
But it went so drastic.
Correct.
And the girls today are confused. They're like, what?
Yeah, where do I go?
Where do I go?
I'm confused. Sometimes I want to go buy. I told my husband yesterday, I'm like, let's go somewhere where I could have 2 horses.
Trad wives is what I was looking for. Yes, exactly. But I truly feel like there is a middle. I honestly believe social media is also a woman's world, and you are able to build businesses, you're able to make money, so you're covered on both ends. Like live the life that you want to live on your own terms. It's possible.
It's hard to find though. It's hard to find now when you see everything that you see. Like, are you a farm wife? You know, are you a girl boss? Like, can you have both? I totally think you can, because you do have socials. Now you don't even have to go anywhere.
You don't have to go
Everything
anywhere.
can be done here.
Yeah.
So
but that's what I'm saying. It's like when you stop trying to fit into a definition or a box, then you're able to explore all these different sides of you. And in a way, that's kind of my mission on social media. Like, I'm not just doing motherhood. I'm not just a fashion girl. I have all these different sides that I'm exploring, and I'm taking my audience, who is mostly women, on this ride, because to me, that is my gift. My gift is the ability to put myself in that arena and share openly, like, this is what I'm about.
And it all works.
For now.
All works. Yeah, it's amazing, you know, like so many women would want to be in your place, which is such a beautiful thing. Like, I don't call it jealousy, I call it an inspiration, you know. I think that, like, to be able to look up to someone that doesn't make you feel the pressure or need to be like you, it's a beautiful thing. Like, you're very real, you're very down to earth, you're very just like true to yourself, and you're silly, and it's nice. We need that, you know?
Yeah.
We need to, like, those belly laughs, you know, that you talk about with your friends, like, those are the days. Those are the moments. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that also curiosity is a superpower.
Yeah.
And that really helped me to navigate and build the life that I want, because I was just curious about what is coming up for me. I'm curious about how this person does this. How can I make that my reality? Like, it all starts there, just the wondering.
Yeah. So if you had any advice to give to women to find themselves, what would it be?
Don't take any advice.
Don't take any advice. I like that. I actually like that.
Honestly, I don't believe that there's an answer to that. I think that the reason why I brought up curiosity and self-awareness is because it gives you the opportunity to start asking questions that are true to you. Because a lot of this advice society that we live in, we jump on this advice, we do these things like our morning routines and all that stuff, and then you realize that gives me nothing. Like, it just continued to deplete me. So I think for me, the advice is to develop curiosity, develop self-awareness, and experiment.
Yeah. And then listen to your intuition. Whatever speaks to you. Like, we're all so different.
Yeah.
And you could be an artist and somebody else could be a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to be said about, you know, we can be inspired by the others, but you don't have to be them, you know?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
There's already them out there.
Do you have any inspirations? People that you look up to?
I get really inspired, and honestly, through my podcast and our program with Creator Method, we have so many women that are, whether they're mothers, whether they're doctors, real estate agents, coming from entrepreneurs, coming from different aspects and industries. What I always get inspired by are women that are out there to just explore more of themselves. And through the conversations that you have on podcasts, like, every person inspires me in a way, because it's this audacity and that courage to, like, get up and do something different, something that's not the status quo. So to me, every time I see that, I'm like, okay,
It gives
like
you that
a
energy.
breath of fresh
I
air.
love that. I love that.
What about you?
My inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm inspired by my mom, and everything that I've done up till now is because of the loss of my dad. But I feel like when I'm the most inspired is when I get to sit with myself and I hype myself up. Something in me just boils and I'm like, I want to do this. Like we're building a cafe. Like what in the world, you know? Like I'm not a cafe owner, but I want to do it. I feel it. Or I want to build this podcast room. There's just something that comes up. So I feel like when I take the time to separate and be curious with myself, something just comes. You know,
I saw this one video on TikTok. It's this woman who basically showed her for the past 10 years, every year, she developed a different career. It was kind of crazy.
I love that.
She was working for ambulance, and then she was like customer service. Then she went to school for nursing. Then she did, and you see this like 10 years. And I was just watching it being like, wow, this is so cool. Can you imagine how much she learned about herself in the process? And I think we're under this impression that a life and a career looks a certain way. But to me, I look at life and work as a portfolio. Like do as many things as you want. Like bring diversity. You want to open a cafe. You want to host a podcast. We live at a time where you are able to do that and to truly like live in your essence. And I think that's groundbreaking. Like tell it to anybody else, for 10, 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
Never.
I love that. You can literally be anyone you want to be. Like before I became a wardrobe stylist. Like I totally faked it till I made it.
Yeah.
Like I pretended that I styled. I don't even want to say it because I feel like I could get in trouble, but I was like, oh yeah, I styled him. That was me. And they're just like, oh, amazing. Like you're hired. I'm like, great. And then it put my foot in the door. Like sometimes you just have to do these things and pretend to be. Sometimes you just have to do it to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely.
And then I was like, I don't want to be stylist anymore. I want to, my dad passed. I want to have a nonprofit and I want to save the world. That was me at 21. And I really thought like I could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I did. Like I really did a lot. Like I learned community. I learned that I could feed 400 families for Thanksgiving for 8 years. That was 10 years. And we just celebrated 10 years at AWAM Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's amazing.
We do a Halloween party for the kids. And after 10 years, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can move on from. You can literally do and be anything. It's true. Like now I'm going to own a cafe. I'm a cafe owner.
I'm into it. You're
it's true.
expanding your portfolio.
So cool. And there's no age now, too, for any of it.
No, I'm so excited to get older.
I love that you say that.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like I see the seasons in life, when you are in your kind of puberty in your 20s, that's like a season. Then you hit, I would say, once you have a child, you're in a season. Then you're at premenopause, that's the third season. And it's literally 3 different people.
Totally.
Completely. Like men would
I feel
never
like I'm a
understand
different person
that
from 5 years ago.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of not only hormonally and, the way we're built, that is so much is happening, a lot of the shedding, but there's just so much. So I'm just saying for women, it's like these seasons that constantly give you an opportunity to come out with like a new version of yourself.
I think that's so big. Seeing it as seasons of opportunity rather than seeing it as, oh, I'm getting old. That's really a beautiful perspective on life. I mean, thank you so much. I'm just like in awe of you, and you're such a good person and you have such a good heart.
You're
and
so sweet.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks
for being here.
I loved it. I'll be
you.
back. I appreciate you.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of the platforms. Keep loving on me and this podcast and keep it going. Thank you.